pray on this very platform, we say, Our Father who resideth in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. Deliver us from evil, we pray. Chukwa Biama, we have evil around us. Zoological Republic of Nigeria. Please put this entity of hell to shame. We are gathered this evening to listen to your word and to your gospel. We are gathered that you may bless your inheritance. We are gathered to remind you that you live it forever and ever. Your abode is heaven, this very earth, your footstool. To remember your children and come to their rescue. To look upon our affliction, our suffering, our pain and anguish. To look at us gnashing our teeth. To see the subjugation and the degradation your children endure on a daily basis at the hands of those who don't even know you, at the hands of those who are not worthy to be called your children. That wasn't your intention for us. That was not your plan, because you wish that we shall live in peace, in harmony with progress and development. But those that surround us are today our lords and our masters, not through any device or capability of theirs, because they tried to invade us before but failed due to your grace. It is through the white man that brought Christianity with them. They gave us the Bible, they handed us over to Quran. That is exactly what they have done, precisely what is against the rule book. We ask you to please come and be merciful. Chukwa Biama Binigwe, come and be kind to your children. We are here waiting earnestly for this very miracle that you are performing in our time. We must also thank you for all the wonderful things you have been able to use us to accomplish and to be able to do. Because all over the world today, there is Biafra everywhere. Without your mercy, without the fortitude and the grace which you gave to IPOB, Radio Biafra, the whole world today will not know about you and who you are. As we said, the more you bless us, the more we spread your gospel, the more humanity understands who you are. The more they will know your name, the more they will come to revere it. Because as we said, through us mankind shall see the light. That is why we are the light of the whole world. That is why we exist. That is why we have brought light where there is darkness. That is why anywhere there is hopelessness, especially in the damnable Zoological Republic, we bring hope. Where there is destitution, we bring succor. Where there is homelessness, we provide shelter. Where there is anguish, we try as much as possible to bring joy. Where there is acute marginalization, we try to bring in inclusion. We have come that this gospel may nourish the souls of those without hope. They may nourish the hopes and the souls of those of them with nobody to turn to apart from thee. Don't turn us away in your anger. We have fallen short, of course, because we are sinful. We are born of flesh, and we have to be. But due to your mercy, you lifted us up. You cleansed us. You made us whole once again. And we are here to preach this gospel, that your name and your name alone may be praised. That Biafra will come in the end, that everything that lives on the surface of this very planet will look towards the east, and there we can see the goodness of this dear God. We can see his holiness, we can see his might and his strength, because even if the whole world were to conspire against your creation, you are creation yourself, you will prevail against them. Come and fight for us, because we cannot fight. Come and drive away the enemies of your children, because they outnumber us. Come and restore your inheritance, Make us the guardians of your inheritance. We know who you are. We know the name that even the angels that surround you right now, what they call you. We know how they worship you. We know that very well. At the end, only you and you alone will accept every of our prayer. Anytime we bend down on our bended knees to pray to you, anytime we lift up our hands in prayer or in praise, anytime we cry for joy or in pain and anguish because we are seeking one favor or the other before you, everything that we are today, that we were yesterday, unlikely to become in the future, we unremittingly and unreservedly hand over to you for your safekeeping, because we are nothing without thee. Because you are room baby. N'ịhụnanya nke gị pụrụ iche na mmeso ọma gị Chineke ga-anọ n'ime etiti ụmụ gị bụ ndị indigenous people of Biafra si ugbu a ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. Ịhụnanya nke gị pụrụ iche na ọdịmma nke gị na ngọzi nke gị pụrụ iche onye nwe m na Chineke ga-anọgide n'etiti ụmụ gị si ugbu a ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. Ise toward
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you according to your time zone. While you are joining us, share the video, invite others to join wherever you are watching from. Are you watching on Facebook, on YouTube? Share the video, invite others to join. We are here again, we are live and we are direct. Of course, it is okay, it is 30 minutes before, or it is 8:30 in Biafra time, and 30 minutes before the top of the hour, or below the, it is 30 minutes on top of the hour, regardless of where you are watching from. It is 30 minutes on top of the hour. We are live to preach this gospel of freedom and gospel of emancipation. Don't forget, when you are joining us, share the video, invite others to join wherever you are watching from. Share the video, invite others to join. Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channels that you are watching from on Facebook, on YouTube. If you continue to share the video, the algorithm, or click the like button, the algorithm will continue to do the sharing. Wherever you are watching from, you are welcome to this program. Of course, you have seen what we have, that the French Macron is actually looking for a possible reason to actually start a war in Niger Republic, because they have seen exactly that they cannot do it, that they were not able to push this ECOWAS bloc to go for that war. So he is actually looking for every means possible to see that he go to that war by himself. Remember that previously he has asked Algeria to grant him access to flight, to fly through their airspace to go to Niger. They turned down the request, according to Algeria radio station. So now there are some story emanating from Niger Republic, and the French President Emmanuel Macron has been making a lot of consultation what he is going to do. Because just like I told you before, there are rumors that there are other power stations in French that is being shut down because of, they are no longer getting uranium for, the way they were getting it before. They have no choice than to turn to Kazakhstan. So it is very, very important that that what Africa is feeding the big world. It is the life of Africa is being fed to the big world. And that is what we're here to talk about. And now you can see that they are crying and complaining about the influx of illegal migration into, into Europe. Illegal migration into Europe, and we have a solution. We know the solution to such problem, and that is exactly what we are here to talk about as well. And we are also going to talk about, for those of you who are not, you know, who are not from the sub-Saharan Africa. Those of you who are watching from SADC region, I greet you. Those of you who are watching from the Eastern Africa, I greet you. North Africa, I greet you. And some of you who are also watching from Niger Republic, I greet you as well. And I welcome all of you. I know it is very, very important that we continue to put Africa first, because it is the continent where God planted all his blessings, and the enemy decided that no, this garden is so beautiful to be enjoyed by those who live in it. They decided that they will gather and conspire against these people. And the people that we are talking about, it is nobody but us that are under the influence of my voice. We are the ones who were invaded, and they decided to take all our glory, and even turn the one that we left behind, that they will leave behind, into shame. And the fight today, it is all about for us to reclaim our glory, for us to reclaim our inheritance, to make sure that we rebuild the land of Africa to its original glory. And that is a task that must be done by this generation. If we cannot do it in this generation, it means that we might not be able to do it in any other generation, because it is very, very important that we fight and liberate Africa from all these activities of the enemy. We will fight to liberate Africa from the activities of the infiltrators, from the activities of the enemy, who is doing everything in their, who is trying all their best to see that Africa remain impoverished. We are the generation who is going to change the fate of Africa, whether they like it or not. And they could see the resilience of this generation. They could see that this generation, they know what they want, and this generation are going to get and achieve what they want. And we are here to actually, to push until something happens. First of all, the illegal migration to Europe across, through Sahara Desert, through Mediterranean Sea, which has been the talk of the day, which has been the complaint coming from the European, that there are been, they call it invasion or they call it illegal migration. That is exactly what they call it. And we are here to now give them the solution to solve that problem. If indeed they want to solve the problem, remember that each and every time that this, big world, whenever they abolish one thing, if they abolish one thing, they bring a new, ways, to actually continue to promote such thing which they have abolished physically. They now bring it back systematically. And that has been their modus operandi. Because if you look back, you will understand that slave trade was abolished. Slave trade was abolished even in the 18th century. Slave trade was abolished. But after the abolition of the slave trade, there were some, arrangement that people were doing to make this slave trade to become, systematic slave trade. It is no longer physical slave trade whereby somebody will buy somebody and they will be ill-treating them, but they made it to be systematic. And that systematic slave trade is what is going on. And it is exactly what started this illegal migration to Europe. It is what started the illegal migration to Europe. And when we are not engaging in such argument or in such discussion, there is no way we are going to solve the illegal migration to Europe. It is our people that are also suffering the death in the Sahara Desert, the death in the Mediterranean Sea. It is our people suffering it, and they are now, saying that they are saturated. But in the real sense, they have contributed, on that reason why there is a lot of migration to Europe. They contributed to it a lot. How did they contribute to it? First of all, they decided that when slave trade ended, they, bring it systematically. That they started making sure that poverty become an institution in Africa, across the African continent. And when there is a poverty in a particular, geopolitical location, or, you will understand that people will begin to migrate to look for greener pasture. People will begin to move around to see where they will find alternatives. Whenever you see there is a poverty, there is a problem, there is inequality, there is no development, you will find people trying to relocate to find alternatives. And now, who is causing the problem of poverty in Africa? What is the driving factor that actually drives poverty in Africa? It is something that we are going to be concentrating on. Because if we are able to bring this, understand that, the things that is driving poverty and inequality in Africa, we will be able to find exactly the reason why people are deciding to leave their homes and travel through Mediterranean Sea, or travel illegally to where they will not be treated even fairly. But the truth of the matter is that they have in mind, once you go to a place where there is steady electricity, where there is infrastructural development, where there is a hospital which is accessible to everyone, that they are okay with it. So, in so doing, Africa was deprived of infrastructural development. Africa was deprived of industrialization. Africa was deprived of, Africa was deprived of everything that helps life to thrive. How did this happen? Because, as we all know that Europeans are not the ones leading Africa physically. Because when they finish with colonialism in Africa, the next thing is to bring about neocolonialism, which is systematic colonialism. They cannot be on the ground to move this agenda or to drive this agenda or narratives. They have to be wherever they are in order to drive this narrative. So, whoever that is actually, if you think about it, they are not the leaders of Africa. So, it is not their duties to build bring infrastructural development to Africa. It is not also their duties to bring, to actually, build something that will attract, foreign investors in order to come and invest, in order to create employment. It is not their duty. Whose duty it is? It is the duty of your leaders. Now, who are those your leaders? The one that, you chose to lead you through the ballot box. Those are the people who are supposed to create a welcoming, environment where people will come into your economy to invest. Those who will make some decisions that will enable your economy to grow. Those who are going to do everything that will, bring about economic development, bring about, economic growth, bring about industrialization. It is the decision that these people will make that will bring about these things. Remember, those people that you selected to be your representatives in the upper echelons, those are the people who are supposed to be bringing about all these things that we talk about, to make sure that their citizens are being catered for. Their citizens are number one priority for them. But instead, when we now talk about the systematic way of controlling us, it is now when we bring it to it. Physically, it is our people that is destroying us. Physically, it is our people that is destroying us. Systematically, our people are the instrument only. Systematically, our people becomes the instrument. Now, who is now driving this instrument? Policy. Policy is the one driving this instrument. Those instrument is that instrument you go through the ballot box and you select those people. They become an instrument for them to bring inequality, marginalization, deindustrialization, poverty. They will bring division, and that is exactly what we want to actually explain. It is our people, because the time they decided to say, no, we are going to abolish this devilish act of slavery. After the abolition of that act of slavery, before they actually come to the realization that we need to now cut off these things, it is no longer what we need. Now they decided to bring a new ways to make sure that we will never feel comfortable where we are. And that's what they have done. They decided that now we need just one person. We need just one slave. We need just one slave. Once we are able to get one slave, make him this person, give him the position of leadership, it does not matter. We will be able to control them regardless of their numbers. Just one. And they got the person that you will now, in the name of democracy, select into your position of leadership. Because democracy is very expensive. You cannot fund it. You cannot fund the campaign. You cannot fund all these things. So they have to now come in to be the ones to now, make a decision. That is when we talk about systematic way of control. That's where it comes in. Because now they have taken many things from you. When they were living, they deindustrialized you so that you will still be dependent on them. They deindustrialize you knowing that you will look for where there are industry so that you will get employment, you will get some skills. So they have to deindustrialize you so that you will continuously looking for them. Now, when they were living, they actually destroyed the type of education system. They already implemented the education system that will never allow you to be independent. Education system that will make you to be dependent on them, that will make you to sit behind a computer, that will make you to education system that gives you a white collar. Not an education system that gives you a blue overall, that will take you to actually, to manufacture things, that will make you to, create jobs. It is not that type of education system that you have. You only have an education system regardless of how much you study, PhD holder, BSc, all of that, you will still be looking for employment. And to make it worse, you might find somebody who does not even have diploma. They will be the ones who will be hiring you to work for them. So you will see now that they have system, they have actually set up everything before they were living, knowing that education is the key. And if you get the right education, it becomes the key. But if you get the wrong education, you will never find the lock. That is exactly how it is. Right education shows you the key, and it gives you the key and shows you the lock, how to unlock the key or make use of the key. But the wrong education will never enable you to find the lock. So that is the reason why so many youth and young people who pass through education, they go 6 years in their primary education, 6 years in the secondary education. Now they will go maybe sometimes 4 years, 3 years, or 5 years in their higher, in their tertiary education. Maybe sometimes you go tertiary, you get like 3 years, or you go to varsity, you get like 5 years, 7 years, and at the end of the day, you have all this education you acquired. You have all of them. Now, where is that lock? Because you have acquired the key, there is no lock. Even if you find the lock, you do not know how to make use of the key. Because the real skills that they were supposed to teach you while you were acquiring the key, so that you will be able to locate the lock and know how to open it, you will not find it. So they establish all these things, knowing that we have established these things and we have abolished slavery. And now we are no longer going to now go and do the dirty looking for slaves. These people are going to look for us instead, because we have destroyed everything that will enable them to thrive. Now we have now captured one person and make that person our stooge, and that person sit in a position of leadership in order to control the millions of them. That while if you do not like it, you look for alternatives. It's either you go through, whichever process you will go, come to us. We will accept you, we'll give you paper, we will treat you like third class citizen, and you will be employed. While you are employed, you are being used as a cheap laborer, because during the time of slavery, they use you as a free laborer. Now this time around, they have built with the initial establishment, which is the real slave, free labor. Now they have to now sustain the free labor with a cheap labor, because they have actually acquired everything that they needed. So to keep it sustainable, they have to bring in people that will give them cheap labor. And when you come in, they will not acknowledge you, make you an asylum seeker. They will give you one camp or the other where you will be residing. And then from there, they give you days. They will be paying you small. And what they are paying you, it is as a result of what they are getting from where you come from. Because when we talk about this financial aid, financial aid from the Europe, America to African, because this financial aid is always about from Europe to Africa, from global north to the global south. They always give financial aid. You'll be wondering, are these people so good? These holy people that will be giving financial aid. They are giving financial aid. Why? They are giving you financial aid, knowing that it is about that money. And those money, most of this financial aid, if it does not come in terms of a product, in the name of a product, just like if they want to assist, they will say they will assist you with HIV program. Those living with HIV, they will bring you ARVs and all that. If they are assisting you, if they are not bringing those in the name of that medication, You might find out if they bring it in cash for the government to procure these ARV medications, you will find out that some of this government will take the money, share it amongst themselves. They will never procure any medication. At the end of the day, people are dying. It is not their problem. And those who gave the money will never try to do due diligence to find out if this money that was donated for this particular thing was used for what it was donated for. It is not their problem because they will be using that against that leader. They will use it to make sure, anything they will use to make sure that the leader is under their control. That's exactly what they do. But there are some countries in Africa that will be able to honor this money, use it to procure things that they need to, procure. The countries that their leaders, they have a working democracy or constitutional democracy. Their leaders might be able to do one or two with the funds that they are receiving from the big world. Now, how does the big world get all that money that they are sharing amongst African countries? Where did they get the money from? Think about it. In your country, you have gold. In your country, you have platinum. In your country, you have copper. In your country, you have uranium. In your country, maybe you have californium. In your country, you have phosphate. In your country, you have thin array. In your country, okay, I've called uranium ore. In your country, you have all these resources, cobalt. You have all these resources, and in your country, these resources, you don't know what they are being used to manufacture. All you know that you had these things, they are always being sold as a raw material. You have never actually tried to make use of this raw material to develop something, or try to say, those people who are taking this raw material, why can't they bring something that will enable us to know what this thing is used for? They are taking it as a raw material, and they are the ones who will determine the price you are going to sell this your raw material, not you. It is not like a free market where you will go and determine what you want to sell your thing. They will be the ones to determine what you are going to sell your raw material. When you determine it, they buy it from you. They buy it all in bulk from you. Because you don't know what it is used for. You don't know the value of this raw material. So they that knows the value, they that knows how to mine it, remember that they know how to mine it, but they are not the ones who are mining it. They will use your people, teach them, give them the skills of how to mine it, give them equipment. All they need is to bring out the raw materials, and they give them peanuts, and they will now take the raw material, go and make billions of naira, billions of kwacha, billions of zim dollar, billions of all denominations of African currency converted to dollars. They make it in their own currency. And at the end of the day, you know what is going to happen? They make profit of billions of dollars. Now, inside that profit, they have realized from the raw material they bought from you, peanuts. They bought it maybe hundreds of dollars. They make billions of dollars out of this finished product. And at the end of the day, if they made maybe $20 billion from it, if they take out like $500,000 and give it to you and tell you, we are donating this for your hospital equipment, we are donating this for your ARV, we are donating this for people living with tuberculosis, you will appreciate it because you like it well done. You like it already made. And that is exactly how they were able to manipulate and enslave the minds of your leaders, because they know that these people, they love it already made. They don't want to get down and dirty. They don't want to look for how to make it. They want it already made. They give them fiat money. And giving them that fiat money, they will now open doors. These people are very, very, they are very, very good people. There is nobody as good as the West. They have done good things for us. They are giving us free money. Them, to themselves, they will be laughing at you. And when you are receiving it, they haven't told you the next thing that is their plan. They haven't told you. When they now need to come in, while they are mining that resources, they are looking for other resources. When they find it, they might not even tell you. They might even be mining it slowly. They will not tell you, because you have given them the mine. You have given them those mines. Maybe they will even go through your back, buy another land where they will discover other things. By the time you will realize that there's something coming out from there, they have mined it for some years. They have taken things from there for some years without you knowing, because they don't care. All they care is about the finished product. Now, some of you who have crude oil in Africa, you have crude oil. They've been actually exploring your crude oil for the past century. Even though some of the crude oil, like the crude oil in Nigeria, was used to fight the Second World War. Crude oil that is coming from Nigeria was used to fight the Second World War. Now, who paid for it? Nobody paid for it. Now, you have crude oil, but at the end of the day, you do not have refinery. You don't have refinery to refine this crude oil. And at the end of this, you don't have refinery, you don't do this. They are going to take the raw material. They will go and refine it. Remember, you are now only exporting the raw material. After exporting the raw material, themselves, when they finish the raw material, they will now export your finished product more expensive. And while they are actually importing that finished product, it is coming with their inflation. It is coming with their inflation. And when it comes with their inflation, it is actually hyping their GDP. It is hyping their GDP. But you were the original owner of this. And when they import it, your inflation is high, theirs is low, because they have GDP, they have more, GDP than what you have. And they are selling it higher price. They are going to benefit more than what you benefited from raw material. Crude oil, from one crude oil, you can make, I believe you can make kerosene, you can make fuel, you can make diesel from one crude oil. But you sell it as one crude oil. They refine it, take out different types of petrol out of it. They now sell it. This is kerosene or paraffin. This is diesel. They will import it. It is a different importation. It is not going to come as a pack the way you gave it to them as a pack. They will import fuel to you. If you want fuel, they send fuel to you. And they're sending it with their inflation. If you want diesel, they send diesel to you, sell it back to you, and they're selling it with their inflation. If you want paraffin, they send it to you. If you want kerosene, they send it to you. But I believe kerosene and paraffin are the same. They send it to you. Now, but you sent one crude oil, which is now, it is one gross domestic product. Now you gave them like 3 gross domestic product. if they send you fuel, petrol, it gives them, good GDP. If they send you diesel, a different, calculation, it comes differently. Yours, you send one, you are now sending, you only have one, export that you do, crude oil. Now they have three: petrol, diesel, they get kerosene. They now import it to you. And while it is coming, each of them that comes with the inflation. And because you have a high demand of these things, it drives more inflation. Have you now seen the way they have actually established an institution that will never allow you to develop as a nation? This institution will never allow you to thrive as a nation. It will never allow you to have enough as a nation. And to console your stooge you call leaders, they will tell them, we will make sure you will sponsor your election campaign next year. Your political party is our favorite. When you see them trying to educate or trying to convince these your political leaders, they will be sounding so condescending, but your political leaders will never even, understand their condescension. They will not understand it. You know why? Because they know these people are bringing us fiat money. They are bringing us finished product, already made, hard cash. They are giving us hard cash. Who want to go into that mine and start mining to know what it is used for? This is the mind of your politicians. Because all they want is that fiat money. All they want is that cash that is coming to them in the name of funding. They call it financial aid. Through Transfarm, through UNICEF, through Oxfam, through many of these, organizations. They call it financial aid. They are aiding and abetting you. And for you, you believe you are a winner. You are wiser than these people. Because that is the mindset of those black people. I am wiser than this white guy. They're just giving us a financial aid. These people are so good. And the reason why they will be giving you that is for you to say, these guys are so good. These guys are the best human being on earth, without you knowing that if they use this hand to give you, they use the other hand to take extra from you. Believe you me, if you read the Bible very well, if you have read the Bible very well, those of you who are so Christianized, but you have never read the Bible, those of you who are so religionized, you have never decided to study the book of your religion to understand what it says. If you read the Bible very well, you will understand that every quality that the Bible talked about the devil, it is what the big world is displaying against you. The devil will give you with one hand. They will take it back with the other hands. The devil come to kill, to steal, and to destroy. Once you see the activities of the Saxons into Africa, you will see it is it is rhyming with the stories of the Bible. Why? Yet, so many of you believe that they are the ones who gave you Bible. And they are the ones who are doing great things. It is all about manipulation. Manipulation becomes the order of the day. When we talk about the history of colonization, or the history of European, coming into Africa and taking many things from Africa. When we talk about it, I want you to embed it. I want you to understand that there is an issue that keeps on coming up. Issue of them coming with a mirror. Issue of them coming with a mirror to deceive our people. Number one, how can you come with a mirror to deceive people who have gold, who have silver, who have everything. How can you come with a mirror to deceive people who have silver? With a silver plate, you can even look at yourself. So what is the difference between silver and a mirror? Now, when you think about it, you now realize that the mirror becomes a metaphor in that story they have told. A mirror is what reflects, it gives you your reflection. A mirror is what they will use to reflect, probably that mirror there, it takes away the original you. While you are looking at yourself, you believe that you are still there. When we talk about discontinuation of our inheritance, from our heritage, we discontinued from our heritage. It is as a result of that metaphor called mirror. They replaced our lifestyle with theirs because they saw our lifestyle was easy. Our lifestyle was success. Our lifestyle was love. Because if you think about this Berlin conference, let me just touch on the Berlin conference. Let me just read it a little bit for you so that you will understand that everything that we are grappling with, it is as a result of the Berlin conference. And we African people, we were not used to killing ourselves. We know we fought Arabs. Arabs invasion in 3,000 years ago. We fought them. We fought Europeans, but we were never used to fighting ourselves. This fighting ourselves came with these invaders. Let me show you. Let me show you. Because when we talk about, if you will understand if you know about the Vikings, if you understand the Vikings, you understand the Saxons. The Saxons are Germans. People within the German, they were called the Saxon. Then you understand, you talk about the Britons. The Britons. These people, they were all the people of the people of the European origin. And these people of European origin, they killed themselves. They were fighting themselves for the sake of who is going to be the king, who is going to rule over these people, who is going to rule over this land, who is going to be the custodian of this land. They were killing themselves mercilessly. The people who were even invading them were called the Vikings. The Vikings were invading them. Now they saw that they've been killing themselves, and they have, they come to realization, why should we be killing ourselves? When there is, when we can actually look elsewhere. That's when they started coming to visit Africa. They came with those sheep, canoe. The same type of sheep that Vikings used to invade them. They used those sheep to visit Africa. On their way, so many of them did not make it to Africa. But they continued, making their way to arrive in Africa. They arrived in Africa. They came to us as people who come to do business. Because it is all about manipulation. They manipulated our people. They manipulated our people. They saw how we were living. We didn't have beggars. We never had beggars in Africa. They cleaved on us. They behaved like good people because our people were taken unaware. They did not believe that these people are coming with a bad intentions. That is the reason why they went under their skin and they destroyed them from inside. They infiltrated them to the extent they compelled them to start selling their own people. This thing we are talking about didn't happen one day or 2 days. It was constantly happening before, for many years. for century before they decided now, let us now return. Let us now return and start plan very well how we are going to now get these things by ourselves. Because even the time they were visiting Africa, they were fighting amongst themselves. Because they were still fighting amongst themselves. Who is going to be, who is going to be taking charge of this area? Who is going to take charge of this area? Who is going to take charge of Sahel region? Who is going to take charge of East Africa? Who is going to take charge of SADC region? Who is going to take we are actually on it, fighting, including French and Britain. They fought themselves tooth and nail. French and Britain. That is most of the reason why, if you see where French colonized today, Britain colony is next to it. Let me touch on this. Let me just remind you from the first paragraph. It is not what we are, it is not what we are supposed to actually, we are here to talk about. We have a lot to talk about, but let me just remind you, let me just share something very, very vital with you, so that you will understand that our people went through a lot. Our people went through a lot. You will understand it is far back. Look at it. Look at the image of Berlin Conference. Look at it. These people, they had nothing. I just want to show you the image, how it looked like. This conference lasted for 12 months. They had nothing. These people that are so, that we see as a place where we find greener pasture, they had nothing. But today, they become our greener pasture. How come? We had city of gold. We have empires. We had empires. We were living fine. So many people believe that these people were the ones who discovered our gold. So many people believe that these people were the ones who discovered our resources. They never discovered our resources. Even in the Bible, even there are places where God showed us where he planted the resources in the Garden of Eden. They never discover our resources. They just came to actually steal it. And at the end of the day, people will believe that no, these people were the ones who gave us industry. They never gave us any industry. They never gave us any industry. They were the ones who came to learn industry from us, because we were the ones who had the first industrial revolution. But if you look at this colonial history today, you will understand that the first industrial revolution was, maybe they might tell you it was done in 17th century by somebody from Europe. That's what you will see. But that's not the case, because we built Egyptian pyramid. Okay, now let me just touch on the preambles. The immediate reason for the Berlin Conference was the jealousy of the king of a small country, Belgium, towards his cousin Queen Victoria of Great Britain. King Leopold II of Belgium considered himself to be an important man, yet in the 1870s, Leopold had no territory other than the small state of Belgium itself. His cousin, Queen Victoria, on the other hand, was not only Queen of Great Britain, but also Empress of India, and had whole empire besides. So, I just wanted to make you understand that the reason why they talked about Berlin Conference, this is supposed to be a topic for, a topic for one, broadcast. He is the one, when they were on themselves, these people were barbarians. They were barbarians. Today they call us barbarians because that mirror, metaphor of that mirror, was replacing us, giving us fake and taking our original. That is the metaphor of that mirror. They made us to start turning against ourselves. At the end of the time, when they done with their structure to deal with us, it is like, on your marks, get set, let's go. They started dealing with all of us. By the time we realize it, we had nothing. They know what is called infiltrating you. They came in, they were welcomed. We harbored them. They infiltrated us. They betrayed us. They took all we had, including our conscience, including our humanity. They took them with them. They left their barbaric nature with us. That is the reason why you see your leaders becoming, they are systematic barbaric. Because when they saw that there are interests of, we have done this thing, we cannot continue to do this physical, affliction. We will need to bring about system. How we can do it, we have achieved this so far. That is revolution. That is revolution. Anytime they want to abolish physical something to introduce systemic something, it becomes a revolution towards that thing. They had never abolished slave trade thoroughly. It was actually, revolutionized and become systemic something that you have to now devote yourself to go and give them this cheap labor. So, that's what they do. They started colonialism. When they abolished colonialism, they introduced it in systematic way. How were they able to achieve it? By making sure that they control, the colonial agreement that you signed, or post-colonial agreement that you signed. They make sure that they police it, they enforce it. Because you don't know who signed those post-colonial documents. You don't even know if they signed it under duress. Because so many of our people, they just want to, we want the freedom. As long as you just leave, we will govern ourselves, we will take charge, we will be able to do it. Without, or we will actually make it. You know how you want a freedom. Like I will always say that those who will be shouting, they will do this, they will do that, and bestow themselves prime minister. You don't know, they just want to be that it is me that got you a freedom, without understanding what is these things that I am signing. On a long run, how is it going to be beneficial to my people? And that is the reason why the only way to undermine such colonial policies, it is through revolution. Be it peaceful revolution, be it systemic revolution, be it radical revolution. It does not matter. As long as there is revolution, revolution will now destroy the status quo. And when the status quo is destroyed, there is no more, they will not have any, they wouldn't have any other place to hold onto. Because it is no longer that system they implemented in which they police their policy that you are having now. People have taken over. And those people who took over, they don't understand whether you sign a policy or post-colonial policy. These people are not, they are already emancipated. Because that is the reason why Bob Marley made it a point of duty to tell us, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. It is me and you. Nobody is going to do it. And when you are emancipated, do you know the next thing you are going to do? Because they know that the people, those old people, that's why they are using those old people as their conservatives in your country. Those who continue the culture. And that culture is the culture that was given. They are the ones who know how to preserve this culture. They will use those old people, the ancestors who are still living. They will use them always to be in the position of power. And they control them. At the end of the day, using these people to control the millions of people and making them to be so brutal. Those who understood the colonial era, that for them to control the black man, they were so brutal to them. Those who understand the slave era, that for them to control the slaves, they will shambok them. They will be brutal to them. They will actually, they will koboko them. They will do everything that it takes to punish them, to bring them to the lowest term. Once they bring them to the lowest term, and during that exercise, what it's going to be saving in your brain, some people that will be it destroys them. It destroys them because it will now be ringing in their brain, I am less than human. I am less than human. And these people, they already gave you a picture of a white man, Jesus. You are a black man, Satan. And now they will be singing you up, up, Jesus, down, down, Satan. Now, they will be beating you up. They will be torturing you. On that note, you will believe, no, I am less human. Maybe I am less human. Maybe you will start fighting with your mind. By the time you know it, you are destroyed. The after effect for after some years, you will have depression. You will have anxiety. It will come to a point that you will be destroyed thoroughly. Now, when you are destroyed, you have to go to their psychology for them to help you to fix you. Because everything you must depend on them. So they have to actually deal with you decisively, physically, for them to control you. So what is your leaders doing to you? If you become a whistleblower in the sector where you are occupying today, you blow a whistle against these big people, those superior people. The next thing is that they take you out. You are dead. They will say if you kill one or two, other people will behave themselves. If you punish one or two, other people will behave themselves. They will be so scared. That's exactly how your stooges were trained. That's why they will always choose the old ones who understand. I stand not to be challenged. And when these people left Africa, they went and rebuilt their heaven that is seen today. They built their heaven today. And they adopted our way of life, which is people understanding that they need to care for their people. Parents understanding that they need to put the life of the children first, because these people never had culture. They never had anything where they will say, no, this is what binds us together. Everything that you see them acting, behaving like, human being, as if they have love, they learned from us. They learned from us. So many people will be imagining, how could that be possible? But it is true. It sounds so good to be true, right? Because you were shown a picture of a white God, a picture of a white man Jesus all your life, and a picture of a black man devil all your life. So if I continue to tell you this, you will now be, you will start saying, no, this is disinformation. You will start saying, no, I am just forming these things by myself. I am not. That's the way it is. Everything that you have seen happening to us was the other way around. Every weaknesses you see on us today, it was the other way around. That's why emancipation is unlearning things that we have learned over the centuries. Unlearning them. That's why, when you see, I see an African person who will wake up to tell you, I don't want to have children. I don't want to have children. You will be wondering, who is this person? Where are they coming from? They will tell you, no, I don't want to have children. A man telling you, I don't want to have children. When I see these people, I feel like I want to slap them back to get their senses back. It is true that they call it it is their right not to. It is, of course. You're not gonna force them to do so, but in an African perspective, a man who have a child, that child replaces the man. You give birth to yourself, to your second self. You give birth to your second self. And that is the reason why, when you understand in the Bible metaphor, it says it will use the sins of the father to visit the third and the fourth generation, which means every fourth generation there is a new beginning. Every fourth generation there is a new beginning. And that is the reason why you see Africa today speaking differently, unlike how they were before. They are speaking differently because we have gotten to the fourth generation, where we need to now make sure we take our own heritage back. We take what belongs to us. Anybody that is going to block our way, that is going to stand on our way, even if it is your leader, you step on that person. You stampede on that person to make sure you get to your destination. That is it. So now, why did I decide to talk about all these things? Bringing it to the context of why we were talking about it. It is about, why is there so much migration, illegal migration to Europe, that to the extent that Europeans are saturated for the sake of them, receiving these illegal migrants and issuing them with asylum. They started it, right? They started it, and they know how they started it. They must end it. And if you come to the realization that most of these people who are actually looking for a way to greener pasture, most of them are my people. They are the Jews, original Jews. When we call ourselves the Jews and we are black, it becomes, like a story. It becomes like a story. If you read the book of Songs of Solomon, what does he say? He is black, that his people despise him because he's pitch black. If you read the book of Job, I am black unto the ground. If you read the book of Jeremiah, I am black unto the ground. So, that is the reason why we are always migrating. We do migration a lot. Migration. We are good at that. If we see that there is a drought around us, the next thing is migration, looking for where we are going to find a greener pasture. It is in our nature. If you go through the history of our ancestors, that's what they did. Some of them migrated some of them migrated and never went to Jerusalem. Some of them migrated to this place you call Gabon. Some of them migrated to Congo. Some of them migrated to this place that is so-called Nigeria today. Some of them migrated to even in Southern Africa. Some of them migrated there. It is about migration. Migration is too much. They were migrating. So, on today's migration, most of my people are crossing Mediterranean Sea to get to Europe. If there was 1,300 Nigeria that have died in Mediterranean Sea in 2023, because that's as per the statistics, 1,300 so-called Nigerians, they are my people. They are Biafrans. So, one of the reasons why we are calling for the restoration of Biafra to secede from Nigeria is to make sure we take care of our people. Is to create atmosphere that will make them to start running back instead of running away. Because we know what they are grappling with. Most of us went through these processes. Some of us went through these processes. So we know what these people are suffering for, for. Now, at the end of the day, if we can get our freedom from the neocolonial enclave called Nigeria, the next thing is what next is he going to give us? We are going to now make sure we do things that our people will no longer run away. It is part of a solution. It becomes part of a solution that will curb this migration. If Niger Republic get it right today, it is going to also curb the migration problem for Europe. If Libya get it right today, if Gaddafi was not killed, there will be no migration. From Libya migration to all over the place. If Burkina Faso get it right today, there will be no migration. Likewise, Cameroonians. The same thing applicable to Mali. If they get it right today, without Western interference, without Western exploitation, the migration will stop. Without placing Western stooge in that place, migration will stop. If Nigeria get it right today and do the right thing, destroy the status quo, destroy that amalgamation, forceful amalgamation, illegal migration to Europe will be sorted. So, why are they crying for migration, paying money for people to be treated like animals in the hands of the military in Algeria, Morocco? Paying all this money to them because it is all about paying a black man money to deal with another black man. That's the philosophy. That's the narrative. That's the plan. Pay a black man money. They will deal with their fellow black men. They are merciful. They are merciless when they come to them dealing with their fellow black men. So you know how to do it. So at the end of the day, have you now seen that they are the ones who are actually promoting the illegal migration? Because people will look for a way to survive. That's why they are human beings. That's why they are Homo sapiens. If you block their survival, how they are going to get a greener pasture from where they come from, they come to where you come from. That's the way it is. They look for it every way possible. They look for it. That's why the Israelites decided to migrate to Egypt when there was drought. and they went to Egypt and they become captives. They become slaves. They did not go to, they were not actually taken into slavery by, to Egypt. For you to understand, when we talk about systemic slavery, they create an avenue that you come to them, become their slaves. They did not force you to come, but situation that they have created forced you to go to them. People don't understand what cheap labor is all about. People don't understand what is a cheap labor. That is exactly what they use our people to do. And the worst part of it on Africans is that Africa will not say, no, we have done enough cheap labor here. Why can't we use these skills we have acquired to go back and help Africa? Just like Chinese did. Do you know that Americans use Chinese so much to do their cheap labor? And Chinese, the more they were doing the cheap laboring, they were actually acquiring some skills. And when their government decided to recruit them, they recruit them in millions. They even sponsor them. They make sure that they actually, make use of these skills. They make use of those skills. And it is helping. Chinese is the second largest economy in the world. The second largest economy in the world. That is Chinese after the US. So, in this regard, you'll find out that once our people focus out there, they don't remember back home because there is nobody to call them, to recruit them to come back home. There is nobody, as long as there is still democracy. There will be nobody who will remember that if we could now realize all these our people that are out there doing wonders, bring them in one umbrella and make sure we create a good atmosphere for them to be safe. They will give us the same thing Chinese people gave to Chinese. Have you now seen, how Africans will never get it right if we continue in the with the status quo? That they have to now sponsor your political leaders and control them, give them palliatives, give them fundings, while they are exploiting everything you have. One person that is incompetent making decisions to, for the millions of people who are more intelligent and more, technocrat than him. How can that be? Does it mean that we are lame? We are not. And that is the reason why we can no longer tolerate or allow that. From Cameroon to Ghana, from Ghana to Gambia, from Gambia to Sierra Leone, from Sierra Leone to Gabon, from Gabon to Congo, from Congo to Burundi, from Burundi to Uganda, from Uganda to Kenya, from Kenya to South Africa, from South Africa to Zimbabwe, Swaziland, Mozambique, Angola, all these places, we can no longer tolerate this symbiotic relationship. We need to now do something. And we need to start from that person they control to control you. Because those are the people they control to control you. How do you know that they control these people in order to control you? Let me read for you something. Let me read something for you. I am going to, let me open this and read something for you. Just one moment, let it load so that I will be able to read something for you. For you to see, it is what is happening in Niger Republic. what the French is actually planning on the Nigerians. That is what I am going to read for you to know and understand that it is as a result of that one man. Once you are able to, make sure they don't have access to that man they control to control millions, their power is finished. They will be now fighting like a chicken that you have cut their slut, cut their throat. That's what they will start doing. Listen. If you remember, you will remember that the French were asked to leave. The French ambassador was asked to leave Niger Republic. The French insisted that they will not leave. How can you insist that you will not leave somebody's country? French envoy to Niger Republic. Let me read it. French envoy to stay in Niger Republic despite ultimatum, says Macron. Despite ultimatum, says Macron. Macron insists that France will not change its position in condemning the coup and offering support to remove President Bazoum. Now, they will not actually stop because this is the man they control to control you. If they do not have access to this man, they will no longer control you. So that is exactly the reason why they are dancing like a chicken that you cut their head. They are giving a last fight. And they know that they believe that Africa will do not have that resilience, that they will threaten you, they will push you from head to toe, they will shake you up. If you don't move off your feet, they will fear you. Consistency is the key. Now, let's continue. France's ambassadors to Niger will stay in the Sahel country despite pressure to leave. From the leaders of the recent coup, President Emmanuel Macron has said on Monday he also reiterated France's support to Niger's overthrown President Mohamed Bazoum, whose decision not to resign Macron called courageous. Whose decision not to resign Macron called courageous. Macron also said Paris would support any military action by the Economic Community of ECOWAS states in Niger. Listen, they will support, they are calling, and they know that the only way they will invade or they will do something against the country. That's why they are using the life of their envoy as a sacrifice to Niger Republic. That's why they are telling that person not to leave. It is a game of mind. It is a game of mind. Because they know and they believe that if you touch their envoy, which you have told them to leave, if you touch their envoy, they will now say, no, you have done something, we need to reiterate, and they will now come back. They will now come with the full force to invade the country. That is their plan. They want to use their envoy, one person or their group of people, to set a trap for Niger Republic while they are trying their luck to see if their stooges in ECOWAS is going to engage as per agreement. Now, let's continue to read. On Monday, he also reiterated France's support to Niger overthrown President Mohamed Bazoum, whose decision not to resign Macron called courageous. Macron also said would support any military action by the Economic Community of West African, ECOWAS. The French leader, who was speaking during a major foreign policy speech to ambassadors gathered in Paris, confirmed that French envoy Sylvain Aite was listening in from Niger's capital, Niamey, despite being given a 48 hours deadline to leave the country last Friday. France and its diplomats have faced particularly difficult situation in some countries in recent months, from Sudan, where France has been exemplary, to Niger. At this very moment, I applaud your colleague and your colleagues, your colleague and your colleagues who are listening from their post, he said. Bazoum was toppled on July 26 and has been detained along with his family at the presidential palace in a coup that has been condemned by France and most of Niger's neighbor. Who is France? Do you have any moral right to condemn any coup? You people have been making coups in Niger Republic, and because this time around it is a coup that can lead a revolutionary, journey that will remove you permanently from the economic exploitation and sabotage against this country. That is the reason why you are saying you condemn, you condemn, you condemn. All this coup that you people have been planning and plotting and carrying it out in those areas, no one, it is not condemnable. It is only this one that they have removed the man that you are using to control them. It becomes a problem. I know that he is been moving around trying to see which right he will bring, or how he is going to establish a provocation so that he will bring his army and go to invade this Niger Republic. But he is looking for it, but he does not know if he try it, he is going to fail. He is going to fail if he try it. That is when he will know that Africa is not that stupid. That's when he will know Africa is not that stupid, believe you me. Because those that they are going to use as their stooge, those that they are using as their stooge, that's when they will realize that, we have opened the can of worm against our stooges. Now our stooges, people will chase them away. You will see people will chase your stooges away from every country that you are actually using, you are controlling them. On Friday, Niger's Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced that French ambassadors Aite had 48 hours to leave, saying he had refused to meet with the new rulers and citing French government action that were contrary to the interest of Niger. Macron insisted that France would not change its position in condemning the coup and offering support to Bazoum, stressing he had been democratically elected. Is French, is Macron the owner of this Niger Republic company? Is Macron the owner of Niger Republic in our country? Why is he insisting on, for the sake of the people, on behalf of the people of Niger Republic? Why is he insisting that this man, does it mean that he loves democracy for the sake of the people who knows what they want? Does it mean that the adults in Niger Republic does not know what they want? For you to understand how condescending these people are. They are so condescending to the extent that they will, they have to make decisions for you. Because they have seen that you cannot make decisions for yourselves. They have to force themselves on you to make decisions for you. Macron insisted that France will not change its position in condemning the coup and offering support to Bazoum, stressing he has been democratically elected. I think our policy is the right one. He thinks that his policy is the right one. And the policy of the people who are trying to remove themselves from neocolonialism, new control, the control of the French, their decision is not correct. It is French decision to be mining uranium and taking them for free. it is the one that is correct. If any Western world, having seen the activities of this ambassador and this envoy to Niger Republic, it is an evidence that everybody, that most of the people, let me not paint it everybody, because we have wives that are coming from there that might not be supporting. I don't know politically how, whether they support, I don't know, some of them, we don't know, but let not include everybody. Let exempt some people. Now, most of the people who are Europeans, the reason why they haven't begun to ask questions, they have not started asking questions to their politicians on the reason why Africa is crying that they are stealing from them. The reason why, it is because we know that it will come a time God will harden their heart. They have never called for reparation, even though they know the history of what they have done to us. They are living in the wealth, on the wealth of African children. They are living on the blood of African children that has built and give them the best infrastructural development and the biggest economy in the world. They are living on it without even trying to actually ask questions. How did we get here? Who did we hurt? Why are we detested? Why are we hated all over the world? Because they are enjoying it, they cannot. God will harden their heart so that by the time He will deal with them, nobody will have pity on them. And that is the way it is. Some people call it karma. Some people call it the law of nature. Some people call it what goes around comes around. And that is exactly the way it is going to be. You see, the envoy is now fighting to be the one to start the war, to be the one who is going to be the instrument that will bring about killing of millions of people in the black African country. Because remember, it is up Jesus, down Satan, and they have painted the picture of Satan to be black and picture of Jesus to be white. So maybe all these people, the reason why they are not talking is because they have been told that the black people are the devil with a horn, with two big horns on their head. Just that they have told them you can't see it. It is invisible. Let's continue. I think our policy is the right one. It's based on the courage of President Bazoum and on the commitment of our ambassador on the ground, who is remaining despite all the pressure. We must check who is this ambassador. Maybe this ambassador is even a black person. Let's see. Let's see. Ambassador to French ambassador to Niger Republic. Let's see who is the French ambassador. Let's see. Image of French ambassador to Niger Republic. Let's see who is that. Let's see if he's a black person or a white person. So that we will know how to. I'm asking you the image of French ambassador you show. Who knows who is the French ambassador to Niger Republic? Who knows? Is he a black person or is he African or is he European? Who knows? He is a white. Okay, he is a white. Oh. Now, if he is a white, thank you very much, Randon Horn. Thank you very much. If he is a white, because if he was a black person, I was going to tell him, I was going to give him a different, backlash. But since he's a white, remember that a white man, if you touch a white man in Africa, it is worth more than you touching a black man. If he was a black man might say, no, they will hurt me, and then they will say it is our black person. We are all blacks. They will say they are all blacks. They hurt a black person. But since he's a white person, they have used him to establish a good trap. It is not even a trap. Niger is a sovereign nation who is calling for this guy to leave. So they are now depriving Niger of its sovereignty to make Niger. Every country has a right to say, no, we don't want to have a bilateral relationship with another country. Every country has a right to say, no, we don't want to have this relationship. We don't want your ambassador, your envoy into our country. It is not something that is good for our foreign policy. They have the right to say so. But now, why are they being deprived of such right? Why are they being deprived of such right? So for you to know that Africa is not free. There is nothing like independence in Africa. It's all sham. It is all fraud. We are fooling ourselves. When you are telling your children, when children are giving speech in school, they will tell you Africa had their independence, or they will tell you Nigeria had their independence in 1960. They will say, clap for him. They will clap. They will clap for you. But without you knowing, there has never been African independence. No African country had independence. None of them. It is up for you to make a move, for you to know whether you had independence or not. Because the reason why you still believe that you had independence is because you have never taken a step that will eliminate these people from, stealing from you. That will make these people from stealing, that will actually stop them from exploiting you. That is the reason why you will never know whether you have independence. Like I told you the history of Biafra. When we decided to break free from that, from that structure called Nigeria, Britain descended on our people. Britain descended on our people through Nigeria. They used Nigeria to invade us, kill more than 3.5 million women and children. For you to see how brutal, how far they can go to make sure that you do not violate their systemic colonialism. Because you're greedy, those people, I will call them greedy dogs, who claim they negotiated our independence. It was better that they leave us to say that we are still struggling. Because it will make us to be strong, to continue fighting unrelentlessly. Because when they try to, the systemic one is they select somebody who is a stooge and they make them to sign. Once they sign, it is Biden force. No, now you will now be your leader. You lead yourselves, but you can never lead yourself to success. They will sign. We agree. As long as my name will be written that I am the one who negotiated independence for Nigeria, it's fine. We have agreed. That's what many of those who negotiated your independence did. They want their name to be written in the Guinness Book of Record. My foot. It is as a result of a black man. And these people are living in it. And for you to destroy it, it is through revolution. Through revolution. And the revolution is starting in the West Africa, in the Sahel region. We know that it is going to, extend to across African, because remember that if you do not destroy it, you will never rebuild it. You can never build on top of a wrong foundation. That's one thing that Africa is so scared of. The only people who are benefiting from this foundation that you are building on is the government. It is those stooges that they have placed there to use them to use you. So, the solution to it, destroy it, rebuild it to your own taste. Dig the foundation, bring it to the taste that you are the one who is going to live in it. You know exactly what it takes for you to live in it. Now, as we are saying, for you to see, let me show you the population of Nigerians who decide that they do not want these people, that these people should leave them alone and go their separate ways. They came out in their number calling for these people to leave them the hell alone and go their separate ways. But what happened? What happened? They do not want. Because this is not even the military junta telling them to leave. This is the Nigerians telling them to leave. They do not want them. They are protesting. They do not want them, asking them to vacate, leave our place. We do not want military. They say they do not want military. Did you see their number? I wanted you to see the number of these people. That's what I wanted you to see. I believe you saw that flash of those numbers. They wanted them to leave. You see, they are in their thousands and calling for them to leave. It is the leadership by the people and of the people. Power belongs to the people. Now, Emmanuel Macron, a young leader of France, is deciding that no, he has to, his decision override the decisions of all these thousands of people in Niger Republic, because his ancestors colonized the Niger Republic and therefore they can never be free. There is a time, there is, seasons of life, a time for captivity and a time to be free. So this is the time for Niger to be free. Our time also for Biafrans to be free is coming. No one will dictate for us. Nobody is going to dictate for us. When we decide to march, nobody will dictate for us. That is the reason why we continuously creating our awareness. That by the time we will march, they will not stop us. Because I know and understand the resoluteness and the energy that we have. It is just we are taking one step at a time, because we did it in 1967. We suffered a lot of casualties because it was unprepared. That is the reason why we are mapping out strategic plans, and we will achieve it regardless of what they will throw at us. We will definitely achieve that independence that we have been searching for, we have been, calling for. We will achieve it. Now, there is a new development. So, for me to finalize what I am saying, if the Europeans want this illegal migration to stop, they should tell French to leave Africa alone. Tell Macron and his people to leave Africa the hell alone. To leave resources of Africa for Africa to determine what they will do with it, so that they will be able to cater and create jobs for their people. They should destroy the systemic colonialism, because it has gone so long. How long do they want us to bleed for them to know that we are tired and saturated as well, Just the migrant that they are handling, they are crying, trying to go and leave them in the middle of the sea. Britain, or to repatriate them to, Uganda? No, not Uganda. What is the name of this place? I always forget this place of Paul Kagame. They want to go and dump these people there by Rwanda, by Paul Kagame. I wonder why he decided to allow such thing, because these people did not actually leave their home saying they are going to Africa or they are going to Rwanda. They are going in search of a greener pasture, which was taken from them to Europe. So they are going to Europe to look for this greener pasture. They are not coming to Rwanda to look for this greener pasture. So why do you allow yourself to bring them back to Rwanda? Because the United Nations will be giving you some money. Have you now seen that if you want to be free, you call a spade, you become free? Don't be, use on one mouth, you will be speaking freedom. On the other mouth, you will be speaking, bring them. As long as the United Nations will be bringing money, it's fine, bring them. Do you have the capacity to cater for these people? Do you have hospital to cater for these people? Do you have do you have jobs that you are going to give to these people? Are you going to leave them in a camp? In refugee camps? Maybe refugee camp that is not well maintained. Better don't tell them that you cannot cater, they should keep their money. Let them hands off Africa for Africa and stop controlling one person to control millions. Then this illegal migration will stop. Since they are feeling the heat, it is the same way we are feeling the heat of economic exploitation and sabotage. This is the same way we are feeling the heat of the systemic control they have over us. It is the same way we are feeling the heat. So it is vis-a-vis. Let them hands off our, let them stop meddling in the affair of our democracy, so that we will be able to thrive. They meddle in our life. They meddle with everything that we own. So that it is actually very simple solution. Allow Biafra to go. You curb it from Biafra's side, because our people, I can assure you, our people are running away helter-skelter from that contraption called Nigeria. Our people are running away helter-skelter because they are being marginalized. Our people cannot be given a job. If they make money, they build a house across Nigerians, they will be treated differently. They will be treated as if they don't belong there. So they are trying to make it at all costs, because all our lives, we've been marginalized. Our political representatives, they rose up, they say Igbo presidency, Igbo presidency. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, after post-independent, post-colonialism, or post their sham called independent, they came up, they woke up to say, no, we want Igbo presidency. It is our turn in 2023 under democracy, because under this democracy, they have been marginalized. There is no economic growth, there is no seaport, there is no embassy in our land. No embassy, no embassy. We have cities. We have cities in our land. There is no embassy. For you to see how they have isolated our place, how they have made our place to be like a secluded area. But we have a seaport which they closed down. We had a refinery which they closed down. We had everything. They closed them down to make sure that we do not have these amenities that will enable us to actually create jobs for our people, or to have a better life, or to create center of attraction in our land. They continuously deprive us of all these things. So that's why we are running away. That's why we are traveling. So that is the reason why we have put it upon ourselves. That is the reason why we start here every evening, every morning, every afternoon, shouting on top of our voice for the world to hear us, because we have suffered enough. It is individual success. Everybody don't want to be put to shame. Inequality all over the place. How are you going to survive? Because there is inequality everywhere. The people that are supposed to be your representatives are the people selling you out. What is it that we are going to do? We have tried to, move away. They called us back. They forced us to come back to Nigeria. As we come back to Nigeria, they don't want to care for us. They don't really care about us. They are not forcing us to be in Nigeria because they care. Michael Jackson is supposed to be turning 65 years old. This thing I said reminded me that he's supposed to be turning 65 years old, because I remembered they don't really care about us. They don't care about us. So why are they continuously trying to force us to be together under this neocolonial structure called amalgamation of 100 years ago? Why? When we take our issue to the Pan-African Parliament, if you take it to Pan-Africans, they tell you no, we are dividing Africa. For what? What do you mean? What do you mean we are dividing Africa? Come and be in our position. Maybe we'll trade your position to see what, for you to be in our shoe to feel what we are feeling. You cannot be there and tell us we are dividing Africa. Do you know the meaning of division? Do you know exactly the meaning of division? We are Pan-African, maybe better, more than you. And we are not pretentious about it. But in this current status quo, it is not in favor of anybody. It is not in favor of anybody. There is nothing that was set up by colonialism that will be in favor of those it was set up for. There is nothing. The earlier you understand it, the better for you. Biafra restoration does not mean that African unification will not happen, will not take place. One thing that I know that colonialism were able to achieve was being able to displace people of like minds, segregate people of like minds, and bring people who does not have like minds in several places in Africa, especially in the Sahel region of Africa, where they have found many resources and they are not disclosing. In the Sahel region, when there is freedom in that area of Sahel region, that is when you will start discovering exactly what you have under your soil. Because there are many of them that is not disclosed. So we will, it is a very big step to stop illegal migration. If you are not surprised, it is our people that actually found that way of Sahel region or Sahara Desert to Mediterranean Sea. If you check it very well, it might be our own people who found that route. Because we travel. We are running away from this neo-colonial enclave called Nigeria. They have never treated us right. They haven't treated us right. Today they are actually trying to make our people to stop speaking our language in the school. If you speak our language in the school, the teacher will give you a manual labor. The teacher will give you a punishment by telling you to go and cut the grass outside with a manual labor. There is no machine to cut the grass, so it is manual labor. They want to, bring our language to extinction. They want to destroy our heritage because they have been able to divide us, but now we have said no, we are now being united more than ever before. They now want to destroy our language so that it will not be spoken. Chinese are learning our language, but our people now are only speaking English. To the extent, if you speak our language in school, it becomes a taboo. What sort of punishment is that? But every other place in Nigeria, their languages are actually spoken everywhere, in the market, at home, in schools. But our own becomes a problem. And you tell me that I will belong to this illiterate country called Nigeria that does not have any vision or mission for anybody that is found in it. No, I have a vision and a mission for my children. So that is the reason why I can never belong there. A country that could soar. The Niger Republic is trying to be free from this neocolonial enclave of French. They decided no, they start pushing agenda, sanctioning them, switching off electricity. What do you think that they are doing to people like Biafrans inside that country? We are not aggressor, but we speak it the way we feel it. We are not pretentious about it. We don't want to be politically correct about it because we are the ones feeling the heat. We are the ones running away. It is our people that is dying in Mediterranean Sea. It is our people that have been called dying all over the place for the sake of greener pasture. So, now, the latest of them all, if many of you who are not Nigerians that are under the influence of my voice, you will understand that our leader, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, is held in a solitary confinement in Nigeria. Even when the court of a competent jurisdiction set him free and quashed all the terrorist charges and the treasonable felony that Nigeria labeled against him. Court of a competent, we defeated Nigeria in their own court because Nigeria criminalized self-determination. Nigeria criminalized movement of the people. Nigeria criminalized call for referendum. They have killed us. They could not, stop us. They will come where we are doing rally, peaceful rallying. They will open fire and kill our people. Massacre. Ethnic cleansing. At the end, it did not stop us. They had to go to Kenya to rendition this man who is uncompromisable, whom they have promised everything, he refused because he loved his people. The only uncompromisable person. That is the reason why people like me follow him. Because we don't recycle failure. We know what we want. We are decolonized. That's why we know what we want. So they decided to grab him and they decided to put him in a solitary confinement, including when court of, set him free. They refused to release him. Now, the saga now, or the joker now that they are playing with it, is that Peter Obi is from Biafra extraction, right? He contested for election where almost, will I say 50% of the youth in Nigeria rallied about him, supported him. Many people decided that they will try to see if this democratic process works. All of them went and got their, PVC, including people who just turned 18, went and got their PVC to vote for this man. After voting for this man, the man who said it is his turn after Buhari, because they made sure that the dead Buhari still sat in the office of power for 5 years. A dead man ruled Nigeria for 5 years. When we talk about it, people will believe that it is a joke. A dead man ruled Nigeria for 5 years. Who does that? Where on earth does such thing happen? The same dead man who actually created a militia group, non-state actors, to come into our land through some criminal governors that they are stooge of them, they have planted in our states. They create a militia group called a Bubago. They were killing our people mercilessly. Military was killing, police was killing, militia group was killing. Now, it is only now that Britain released the statistics that the same man declared war against Biafrans through this militia group. Have you now seen? Why are they releasing it? Because they could see that the man they have used as the impostor that ruled Nigeria for 5 years got enough money. Maybe he's the one sponsoring the coup in Niger Republic. So that's why they are releasing. Maybe one day, of course, you saw the one they have concocted. They say BBC that Joe Biden say it is a dead man ruled Nigeria for 5 years. So all these things, it is a clue. But we're not depending on that. We know what we're talking about. We're not talking fallacy. People don't believe that people can be cloned because we are not introduced to this 4IR, or we are not introduced to 4IR. We don't know what 4IR can do. People were cloned 5 years ago. 5 years ago, to be Nigeria president, just to make sure they hold the position of power to the time they will achieve their goals and hand it over to the next stooge who is going to take care of it. And that's why Tinubu came to say it is his turn. And he did everything to become his turn. Yesterday, we were reading the result that he presented to the INEC, that he obtained from Chicago University. There is different date in the different certificate. In the same certificate, different dates. So who is fooling who? What exactly is it that you will give me that will make me want to, be in Nigeria? Fraudulent country. Now, they are using Mazen Nnamdi Kanu as a joker. That they have to now go through to people. There are people who acclaim themselves that they are Ohaneze Ndi Igbo. Ohaneze Ndi Igbo. I don't even know what position this Ohaneze or whatever. I don't know what they are representing in our land. They say that they are the king of kings of our land. Ohaneze. They are the whole they are Igbo land and the kings of Igbo land. I don't know who gave them this title. It is the title they are creating to use to manipulate people who does not know their left from their right, playing backyard politics. And it is very, very painful when you hear these people sounding condescending, when you hear these people making a decision on behalf of me that is more intelligent, more technocrat than them. They are illiterate, bunch of illiterate, gathering and making decision on my behalf. You know what that means? Believe you me, if God give me his power for a minute, I will destroy all these people. How I feel? I feel so bad when I hear these people, doing all these things they are doing just to make sure they impoverish their people while getting political office. Do you know what Ohaneze and Igbo did that is pissing me this off, that is making me mad? These people came up to tell us that a man that court have set free, court has set free. Do you know the meaning of you went to court after they have labeled 15 count charges against you? One of them was terrorism. Second of them was treasonable felony. After all that, court saw that no, these charges does not have any merit. There is no evidence, no merit. Court quashed all of these charges and say, number one, this man was brought into this country illegally. Therefore, it has no merit. They now discharged and acquitted this man of all these frivolous charges labeled against him, which comes every court date. These charges did not just, they didn't compile it before they go to rendition him or kidnap him. They bring it each and every court sitting. They bring a new count charges. 3. Another court sitting, they bring another new count charges. 3. Which is making the court to be adjourned every day because it is Nigeria state who actually have monopoly over every institution in Nigeria or every arm of government. They can manipulate it. They are the executive. Court did not complain until they made it 15 count charges on one person. These 15 count charges on one person, right? The court started striking it out. High Court, the court of first instance, High Court struck out 8 count charges. Struck out 8 count charges. Or they struck out, was it? Yeah, 8 count charges. Remaining, how many? Remaining 7 count, or they struck out 7 count charges, remaining 8 count charges, right? Now, our amiable lawyers decided to say, no, we are going to appeal. They went to appeal court, where the appeal court looked at the case, demand for the extradition, what means did you use to bring this man from Kenya to Nigeria? Having seen that Nigeria-Kenya does not have bilateral relationship, what means did you use to bring him? There is nothing they presented. All they say is he's a terrorist. Everybody is a terrorist. He's a terrorist, he's a terrorist. A man that lived in Britain, broadcasting the way I am broadcasting in Britain. He was not called a terrorist though. Only immediately when he left Britain to go to Kenya. For you to see Africa. Hi. Oh, Africa, the land of corruption. They have turned your glory into shame. Immediately when he left Britain to Africa, they run there to kidnap him. Border did not work. Oh. There is a border, Africa borders. There are borders in Africa, but border did not stop Nigeria to go into Kenya and kidnap this guy. Torture him for 8 days, rendition him to Nigeria. Then on that basis, on that note, the court quashed every frivolous charges without any evidence. They have labeled against him. No evidence. Now, after court quashed it, the Nigeria government decided, no, we don't agree. I thought if you don't agree with something that the appeal court quashed, you go to appeal, you re-appeal in Supreme Court. You go to Supreme Court, which is the apex court of the land, to argue the case. Right? Now Nigeria decided, no, we cannot just appeal. We have to now bring back the colonial era of law, which is called stay of execution, which they do for every freedom fighter that they do not want to let him go. They call it stay of execution. They use the Attorney General of that time, who is now facing different corruption charges in Nigeria as we speak. Billions of dollars siphoned under his watch. And the ones he is direct and indirectly siphoned the money they recovered from France, Paris. They siphoned it and put it in their offshores. He is the same man who pressed this stay of execution, colonial era law, against a freedom fighter in this 21st century. They pressed stay of execution against this man. And do you know what? It's been over since 13th of October 2022 that the man defeated them in their court. 13th of October 2022. He defeated them in their court. And then, how many months now? We are in the month of August. Today is 29th of August. So next month, okay, few days now is September, October. So it is left with 2 months for it to be 12 months of them depriving this man of his freedom. Making it, 2 years plus that he is being held in a solitary confinement using delay strategy. Now, to my greatest surprise, what actually made me so crazy is that the people who call themselves Ohaneze Ndibo, the same clan, just because they are looking for political appointments, is calling on this government. Hey, government, we're going to sign surety. We are going to sign surety for you to release this man. The reason we are going to sign surety, is that not madness? Anybody who does not have brains, you will think, no, these people are actually doing great job. And they say they are going to sign surety. Why you are signing surety for what? Surety on what ground? A man that is set free by the court of a competent jurisdiction. Why are they looking for surety? Instead of, they place their charges in appeal court for almost a year now, 2 months to become a year. The appeal court decided no, they will be using delay strategy. They actually adjourned the case to the 14th of September. 14th of September is now in 2 weeks' time, right? You know what appeal court said? That it fall on their own vacation date, which gave this Ohaneze Ndi Oshinandama the temerity to come and play with our intelligence to say we are signing surety. Surety on what basis? A man that the court has set free, you want to sign surety? Who are you? So you know better than the court of a competent jurisdiction. Why are they scared of going through their Supreme Court, the apex court? Why are they so scared? Because now, what they called, appeal. Remember that the man is no longer facing trial. If you want to bring it within the legal framework, the man is no longer facing trial. So he doesn't need to appear before any judge. It is that verdict that is facing trial, right? The verdict that is facing trial. So, if they are not actually mean against this man, they were going to release him while they are doing their appeal. Now their appeal is about check again to see if there is anything you will find within the ambit of the law that will incriminate this man being a freedom fighter or a man who is calling for a referendum in Nigeria. That is all about the appeal, right? Now, they stage him in a solitary confinement while doing their appeal using the delay strategy. 1 year in 2 months' time. 1 year of a free man being kept in a solitary confinement. And these people will come and tell us because the guy man whom he's a resort is different from one another. Is now going to, he must have told them, if you do this and we will give you a political appointment, we will recognize you people Ohaneze Ndibo. Let me show you this Ohaneze Ndibo. They call it tribe of chief. Tribe of chief and queens. That is exactly what it means. Let me show you these people. If you see this this image, let me see if I will see where they are. The images of these people. No, I cannot. I have it on the phone. Let me open it from the phone so that you will see these people. They are the ones on the lower left. They're that logo, and you see the president on the lower left of this logo. Then you see the president. You will see their logo there. These are the people so-called Ohaneze Ndibo. I don't even know who they are. Ezerin. Eze means, leaders or traditional leaders. I don't even know who crowned them traditional leaders. They crown themselves, self-acclaimed. Just to claim they are getting political appointments, they are representing our people in the upper echelons, and at the end of the day, they are representing their big stomachs. So the guy man who is in the position of leadership, Nigeria have a very, somebody who is very, very intelligent in the position of leadership today. In the name of Buhari, Tinubu. He is a very, very intelligent man. But because of the situation of the country, his intelligence now lies with, negativity. He is, clouded with negativity within his intelligence. I give it to him. He's very intelligent. And that's why he is overriding everything in Nigeria politics and becoming everything. Now, in this regard, a man from his own tribe was also fighting for the same freedom Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was fighting. Nigeria look for him. They want to, capture him. He run to Benin Republic. From there, they make sure his people went there, make sure he was released. Nigeria did not go to Benin Republic to rendition him, but rather Nigeria people allowed him. He is a free man in Benin Republic. But today, our own is now in the solitary confinement. And these people whom they are using, because they want political office, they always been deprived of these things. So they have to now sell their own people out for them to get it. That is the way that they have positioned our people. Sometimes I don't blame them, but I blame them for being greedy. Because you can do away with it. You can say that to them, to hell with you. As long as if you cannot include my people, if you cannot give it to me because I deserve it, hold it. Take it upon yourself. We will find a way to navigate our problems. That is the resoluteness and the love for your people. But they sell their conscience for the sake of a pottage. That's what these people are doing. They have told them, go and propose that you will stand a surety, because we've been trying to be peaceful. They have set up infiltrator, which is called the one who crime himself a crime minister, and they say he's in government in exile. They have set him up to continue to make our people, to kill our people on the ground, which we have a lot of voice notes where they are confessing how they have killed people, how they have kidnapped people they were working with, how they have killed people, how they have kidnapped people. It is now for us to know that this Ohaneze, we are part of that syndicate, that we are making this plan so that they will use these people to infiltrate us. But because we are resolute, because our awareness campaign, we don't want to be politically correct. We expose it. Even if it is my brother doing this thing, we expose him. That's why it looks like we are bad, because we expose our evil people. Every other nation, they are hiding. Every other tribe, they are hiding their own criminals. We don't condemn criminality. That's why we don't hide them. We expose them. So now, these people, they now use this guy in Finland to infiltrate us, because he was able, to interview our leader. He now acclaimed himself to be the oracle of the struggle, so that he will gain the spotlight, kill our people, sell it to the highest bidder. That was the plan. And he's been trying to the extent now he acclaimed himself as a prime minister. While at it, Ohaneze now is what their actions now, and their actions is a kind of confession that we have tried it in infiltration, in parallel group, which they have promised that they will do in 2021 if we cannot stop the agitation. They will create a parallel group that will fight us. They created it through this criminal in Finland, the agent provocateur. And at the end of the day, we defeated him. Even though they have killed many, destroyed our young people. Now, Ohaneze now is coming with a new strategy
let them stand surety. Who are they to stand surety on a person, for a person the court has set free? Court set him free. Court makes sure that the constitution of Nigeria upholds. So they are working outside the ambit of the law. They don't have, they don't have actually, will I say that they are undermining the judiciary of Nigeria. Now, do you know the reason why they have come with this attitude? Remember that the presidential election is still in election tribunal. That's why the the intelligent man in the position of power, is now trying to make sure that he buy as much as these Obi people from his side. He is trying to make sure he get as much as them from his side. You have seen people like Yole Dochie wearing clothes for him. And that one, we know the reason why he is wearing clothes for him. Give Tinubu a chance, he will do something. I know, personally I know. I read the room. It is because of this small house he built in Lagos. He don't want them to demolish it, because tribalism is making them demolish people's houses in Lagos. I know it is part of the reason why he want to be acting. We know he is not doing it from his whole heart, but he is doing it for the sake of it. Is like under Durex. So, that's why we didn't have time for him. Unlike if we didn't understand, we were going to trash him. So it is very, very important for us to understand the game that they are playing right now. It is a game trying to make these people, trying to use them now. Will give us let us stand as a surety. From the surety standing now, you release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. If you want to move, they will say, sit down here. We don't want you to place our name in the rubbish. Knowing that he is a free man already. He is a free man. But they want to now enslave him, and they want to cage him again, confine him to a particular place so that he cannot move, he cannot speak. They want a bail condition. That's what these criminals are looking for. They want a bail condition. And the person who I know that is driving it is the man in the position of leadership, Tinubu. If you can achieve this, go and request this. And let's know the agenda of these people. Let's know if they will agree. Maybe they have become weak. We are just beginning. We haven't started. We know we brought agent provocateur to actually make us weak, but we have not started. That's something I am going to tell you, Ohaneze. Trade with caution. We are IPOB. Trade with caution. Trade with caution. Nobody is listening to you in Biafra land. Nobody knows you people in Biafra land. But everyone knows IPOB in Biafra land. Our people love Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in Biafra land. Everyone knows him in Biafra land. So nobody knows you. It is only those cabals that you work with in the position of politics that knows you. You people should trade with caution. We don't want, if you don't know what to say, keep quiet. If you do not know what to say, keep quiet. If you want to talk, you speak realistically. Because we are not fools. We are not illiterate. We know what we want. And likewise, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu knows exactly what he wants. After court to set him free, you want to now engage him, enslave him again. Ndo Ohaneze. Ohaneze Ndoshi na ndị mpụ. Chukwu kpọọ unu ọkụ. You people are actually, you people are not. You people I have lose respect for all of you. It wasn't long ago you want to militarize our Biafra land. But there is in the northeast, there is Boko Haram, there is ISWAP, there is something going on. None of the governors has ever called for militarization or declaration of state of emergency. But we have these infiltrators terrorizing the land because you people just want to be killing our people to please your British masters. It will never work for you. Our freedom is a tax that must be done, and that is what we are going to get. And we are not going to, we are not going to be shaken by any plans you put in place. You bring it on. We're equal to the task. Like you people called us the miscreant. You people believe that we don't have a job. This is our job now. The freedom of our people, it's our job now. And it is a task that must be done. We cannot be deceived in 21st century. We know better than you ancestors. All of you are ancestors. We know better than you. What do you know? That you have never developed anything in Biafra land. You have never developed anything in Nigeria. But every time they will tell us what elders sit down to see. Even if you climb a tree as a child, you will not see it. This is your elder child story. Put it aside. We have grown past that stage. That's what these people will always use to overshadow you people in Africa. They will tell you, oh, you are a young person. You did not see the war in 1967. You are still young. You don't know what we are talking about. What the hell do you know that I don't know? Why do you think I'm still young? I am a father. I am no longer young. A person that has lived more than 3 decades in this life is still a young child. Or in Africa, young people does not grow. Young does not grow. How old is Elon Musk? But he's the richest in the world. You people that are old, have you ever done anything that that will prove to us that you have done? You deserve our respect. Respect is earned. It is earned. It is not actually it is not just given. But because in Africa we give it to these ancestors free of charge. Good morning, sir. When there is nothing good about the morning. I'm not preaching that you shouldn't respect your ancestors. You should respect them, but when they respect themselves. If Ohaneze now come up today and speak something good, we applaud them. But this one they speak no follow. If they dream about it or if they make mistake, they better retract. They should tell themselves the truth. They were shouting Igbo presidency, Igbo presidency. They were deprived of Igbo presidency. Now they are calling for let me stand the surety so that you will continue to, you want to now act like we did not call for Igbo presidency. Tinubu, you can give us a political office, it's fine. Political office, una mbakwoko. This is where I am going to leave it. Our great African children, African men and women, it is time for us to call for a change. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. That is something you need to take home. They don't really care about us. They don't care about us. That is exactly what you need to know. Those people you believe that they are there, speaking they speak good grammar as your leaders. They read what they get from ChatGPT or ChatGPT. They will read it out as they go to United Nations. They will tap ChatGPT will tell them what to read. They will just go there, read it eloquently. You will think they have something to offer. They have nothing. They are being controlled. You are more intelligent than these people. Because when you look at it, you believe that there is something that, to run a country, it is about, there is something that is more special about these people. There ain't no special thing about them. It is failure that is special about them. And it is you and I that will determine the fate of our children. They have determined the fate of us. And the fate they have determined on us is for us to be suffering today. So if we can change it, we start now. If we don't start now, we may never finish. So we need to start now. Tomorrow might be too late. Let us do the change. Be that change. Don't be scared to speak. Do not be scared to speak. Because eventually, death will come. What did you live for? What did you die for? That's what matters. Until we meet again, stay safe. Stay informed. You might not like the way I speak it, but that is the way a black child will understand it. Not being politically correct, it's being pragmatic. Bye for now.